And a good morning, baseball fans. We welcome you. Game number 2, the Perfect Game 2025 Avalanche Slam here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Chris Allard with the call. And today joining me for game number 2, JC Correa, the younger brother. Of course, your big brother still in the game. And JC, it's good to have you here this morning. And thanks for jumping in for a couple of innings. Love to have you.
Thank you, Chris, for having me. It's an honor to be here with you.
Yeah, it's awesome, and it's great. I know you're continuing to work with Daniel and seeing his progression now that he's in high school, and we're seeing a lot of the transitional things starting to take place, right? You've probably seen some good things starting to develop.
Yeah, for sure. We have been working 6 days a week, have added more gym for him to get stronger. And honestly, a lot of people have seen his progress already. He has gotten stronger, faster. And, you know, it's a long journey, you know, and we're here to get the work in, and he's getting better for sure, and that's what we're here for, to get him better on the field and off the field as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, you're seeing that progression, and now that he's in high school, and, you know, it's good to see that in the game continuing to develop for himself. And, you know, he's playing very well, which is great to see. And, you know, it's exciting. I mean, it's at a point where these guys are starting to really make the next step throughout the course of their journey.
And you're right. You put it right on the dot. When you're in high school, it's preparing you basically for the college life and the professional life, you know. So yeah, it's super exciting to see guys in high school, especially when they're freshmen, understanding the practice with the team, lifting weights, all those things come into part. So yeah. So now it's a very important part for kids to understand how life works.
Yeah, know? Absolutely.
You have to study, you have to get the work in, you have to practice and have everything in order.
Absolutely. Well, stay with us. We've got JC Correa to join us here in game number 2, the 2025 Perfect Game Avalanche Slam. Chris Allard with JC Correa. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Well, bringing you back into live action, our head umpires Mark and Ron, again, doing their thing this afternoon. I actually still say this morning. It's the early bird shift. And getting things started off here on the offensive side, the ZT Prospects will be your away team. Aaron Ramirez will step in to get things started. And we'll get things moving here for bullpen team out of Utah. Pitcher of record Ludwig, he'll take care of business there. Meinhardt will be behind the plate catching. Over on the first base side, Brown. And in the 4 spot, Baum will be in 4 spot. In the 5 position, over in 3rd will be Hatch. In the 6 spot, Tatton. 7 spot, Troxel. And the 8 spot in center, Dotson, rounding it out, Maxwell over on the right side. Well, JC, seeing these guys as freshmen now, of course, they're getting bigger, stronger, and faster, makes a big difference.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, a year, you can do a lot. You can get way better if you do the right things. So now it's the perfect time to see guys getting better and progressing. And obviously these guys will see harder pitching now as well when they go to high school. If they're playing JV or varsity, it's a big difference jumping from middle school to high school.
Absolutely. Well, ball 4, so Ramirez will get on board with a walk to start things off. Ramirez, you know, Aaron, I've seen Aaron for years playing, you know, with the national team and shuffling around. I mean, he's really developed as a solid player. He's very fast on the bases and versatile player. He's a two-way guy.
Yeah, for sure. He can play the outfield, the infield, and something I like about him is that when he gets on base, you know, he can steal a bag and create chaos on the base running pass. So it's a guy that you want to have on the team because he put pressure on defense for sure.
Well, Brown's holding him on over at first base as we're ready to go here for Ludwig. And already on the move, a balk called there. And boy, that threw him off right there. I mean, Ramirez just taking advantage of the situation. Moves up 90 feet. And Victoria will reload and step back in the box as the catcher heading out. Meinhardt talked to his pitcher. Talking about catching, JC, you were a catcher.
For sure. In this situation, if I see a runner like Aaron on base, it's where I tell my pitcher I want you to be as quick as possible to home plate to give me a better chance to throw this guy out. Also to change your looks, you don't want to have a one look every time that he gets the timing and he goes early. So it's somewhere that the pitcher has to be smart. Also the catcher communicate to the pitcher. That way he knows what he has to do. Because usually pitchers are just locked in on throwing a pitch.
Absolutely.
And they forget about other stuff.
Yeah. Well, in this case, a balk called and on his way to third, and a balk again. So he gets him caught in that situation where he's on the rubber, off the rubber, and doesn't make the move, right?
Yeah, he's starting on the no base setup. So Aaron is seeing that he's going early. So when he looks at Aaron, he's trying to step off.
And then he doesn't step off, right? Exactly. And then he puts his foot back on the rubber, right?
And I think the catcher literally told him that when he went up to the mound,
I mean, we haven't
he made the same mistake.
Yeah, we haven't seen one pitch yet, and Ramirez is, Ramirez is at third base. Yeah. So a little bit of frustration there, and I think there just needs to be, just an understanding. I know the infield umpire's making that call, but the head coach heads out just to talk to him and get things worked out all right. But Billy's the head coach of the team, and just trying to get some communication. Tough situation to be in.
Yeah, tough situation, especially, first guy on base, 2 balks, you put him on third base with no outs, monster hitting now.
Yeah.
It's not a situation you want to be in.
So a little conversation at the mound will conclude there and get that worked out for their starting pitcher, Ludwig. And head coach just wants some clarity, and he'll get that taken care of, and we'll be good to go. Coach Trey down on the first base side. Coach Carlos Avila, the head coach, skipper of the organization. And Mateo Victorio will step in with Ramirez. In an uncanny way, finds himself at third off a couple of balks.
Us as a team have to see if Monster will hit it. The team have to steal. I want to see if the pitcher will make some adjustment. And if not, we just keep stealing on him until, he makes some adjustment. He can show he can pick or something.
We'll see what happens here. The 1-0 pitch. Hard ball right to the second baseman. A line shot and solid off the barrel. And Victoria will have a seat, the first out on the books for the Bullpen Club. And well hit ball, though. Got the barrel. The bomb takes care of that over on the second base side, and that'll bring up Dylan Mercado. Ramirez parked at third and looked like a slider there.
Slider, like a slurve, yeah, curveball.
Yeah, had a little bit of horizontal, a little vertical movement there as well, and count is 1-0. And good pitch there. Locates, get the inner third. Good looking pitch.
That's a good back-to-back pitch, because you didn't throw the first one for strike. It doesn't tell you had to come with fastball right after.
Which tells us that, pitcher's got pretty good command, right?
He feels comfortable going back-to-back with the perfect.
High fly ball into the foul territory, and the shortstop released left fielder. There was no option there, so the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. So again, so the ball fouled off for Mercado, and Mercado staying active here. Ramirez parked at third. Pitch on the way. And hit in the helmet there, Mercado.
Hope he's good. Back up the head.
Yeah, Coach Carlos rushing out and Coach Trey, but obviously that's why we have good equipment.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I always wear the face protection as well. I always wanted to feel safe when I was hitting, especially when the boys come in at 95, 97 as you at the pro level. You always want to feel that you're safe with the elbow guards, little things like that to feel more safe when you're at the plate.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that's something that speaks volumes. And earlier in the first game, we had the infield umpire having players take their helmets off because they didn't have padding in them. I mean, think about that situation.
Yeah, if you don't have the padding, for sure, getting hit in the head can give you a concussion, no matter if it's a 75, 80, 85 pitch or 95. Getting hit in the head is not fun at all.
Absolutely. Well, we're ready to go. Ken and Chef will step in here with runners at the corners, Mercado at first, and a ball's elevated. The count is 1-0.
So here's a situation, Dylan should try to fake a steal or something, see if the pitcher makes another bug like he had done before, or steal it back,
We'll see what happens. Mercado on the move. Throw down to second. A good throw, and the tag is on and in time.
Late first move for Mercado there.
A little bit of a hesitation, it looked like, for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Ball was on the way already when he took that first step to go to second, so. Good throw by the catcher, too. Gotta give him some credit there.
Yeah, it looked like it was a little elevated throw, but it was there way in time. I mean, Mercado was late for sure.
Yeah. He didn't have a big lead either, so.
Trying to cash in Ramirez and a strike called at the plate.
That's a situation as a runner. If you don't have a big lead, you might shut it down. You take that first two step in. If you don't feel good, then you have time to get back.
And a ball outside. As the game progresses now, JC, from playing kind of more youth ball but very competitive, this team is the #1 team in the country, the ZT Prospects national team. Again, this is a blend of players. It's not the national team. But you really have to start, baseball IQ really comes into play.
Exactly, especially when you're in the final championship of a big tournament, and you see this team playing against another good team. That's when every little detail matters. So you got to be paying attention. If the pitcher is tipping a pitch, if the catcher is tipping a pitch, anything that can help your team to win a game, especially a championship, that's when everything comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. Well stated. As Jesse Maddox will step in here. Runners at the corners. As Maddox looking to cash one in with 2 outs here, and Ramirez stays parked at third, and fastball up and out, and the count is 1-0.
And sometimes people don't understand that you don't need to look at the other coach to try to steal the sign from them. Even the catcher position, the way he set up, can tell you if he's throwing an off-speed or a fastball. Pitcher moving the glove a certain way on certain pitches. There is a lot of ways that you can find and relay pitches if you want to your hitters. And you can find that pretty quick, especially at a high level.
Well, this is where it all starts to come together for these guys, starting at the high school level and really, this will establish your ability to learn the game and really understand all aspects, from strategy to, how do we approach, even from a pitching perspective. A lot of young pitchers, they're having people calling their pitches, balls, and, inside, outside, elevated, curveball, slider, whatever. And when you get to high school at a certain level, coaches will let you go, right?
Exactly.
That's where you have to work well with your catcher.
Yeah, as a coach, you want to see, especially at the high school level, who has the best IQ. So a guy that moves on his own, reading the swings, a catcher knowing what pitch to call, reading the swing of the hitter, knowing what was the best pitch of the pitcher. That's a lot of things that comes into the IQ part of players. And if I'm a coach, I would like to have a guy behind the plate that I can be confident with him. He's going to call the right pitch.
Absolutely. Well, here's your guy right here, Daniel D. Badar, with the bases juiced and 2 outs. D will step in here. I know you've been working with him, and we'll see what D can do. He's still got Ramirez.
This is where we want him to be at. Bases loaded, get a couple RBIs with a single here.
And he looks at a strike. The count is 0-1. takes a cut, fouls it off a little bit late there.
Yeah, good swing, little high fastball elevated, good location by the pitcher. You know, that's the hardest pitch to hit. Fastball high, if you drop your hands just a little bit, you'll be under it. So, great location by the pitcher there.
D looking for a knock here. The 0-2 pitch for the starter, and that ball gets away.
He tried to locate the same pitch, went back to back.
And the count is a ball and 2 strikes to Bedar. Two outs, top of the first frame, no score. Prospects being the away team here, and Bullpen will get the bottom half of the frame. The 1-2 pitch, elevated. He's trying to get D to chase that upper fastball. That was kind of looked like a changeup though, but elevated.
He tried to locate that curveball starting high for the eye of the hitter to look like it was a high fastball.
Didn't really break though.
Yeah, he left it too high, but I see what he's trying to do. He might go to a high fastball again.
And D takes a good cut, got on the barrel.
Right. Yeah, little under, but good adjustment there. That's what we like to see, especially when we're on the hitting part. That's what we want to do, make adjustments, see where the pitcher is attacking us, and make the adjustment from there and make him work more.
Well, D's swing certainly has improved over the years, and you know, he's having good eye contact with the ball as well and seeing his pitches. And elevated again.
Good at bat. That's a 7 pitch already at bat. That's, you know, if it's a good pitcher on the mound, that's what you want your hitters to do. That way he comes out of the game early. You go into the bullpen and just keep competing from there.
Well, he's putting a count on him here, and he'll call time, and it's granted. And D's kind of notorious. He plays chess with the pitchers all the time.
Yeah, he tries to get into their head with that timeout call, and I love to see it. You know,
it's part of the game, right?
Yeah, it's part of the game.
Pitch on the way. And Bedar on the changeup, huh?
Good slider there.
Was a slider, yeah, looked good. And well, they'll strand a few. They opened it up the last game in the first frame with bases loaded, not able to convert it. But we'll head to the bottom of the first. No score. Chris Allard with J.C. Correa, enjoying an opportunity here to talk with him as a great major league player himself, and coming back into the game a little bit. You talked to me about that towards the summertime. How is that going? Is that still kind of part of your makeup? Are you looking to maybe get back to things? What's your process?
Right now, you know, I'm working with D. I also work with a lot of development side. I'm working with a rookie player for the Astros, Luis Rivas. He's Cuban. So right now I'm just focusing on the development part. I love doing that.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Being part of the game and in your family bloodline and with your brother, and you know, having the access to Major League and the players, it's great to be able to contribute if you're not playing.
Yeah, it makes me happy to help athletes get better, and also get the thanks from them, their parents. For me, it fills me with joy to see the progress of them on the field and off the field, you know.
Well, that's a big part of it, right, JC? I mean, you know, the rewards of the game are not necessarily, hey, I'm a great player, I'm a major leaguer, I'm in a Hall of Fame or whatever. As a person who's played at high level, to give back and see other people grow in the game is rewarding in itself.
For sure, you know, baseball is a sport that teaches you discipline because you will fail a lot of times. So it teaches you something good in life, that even though if you fail, it's how you come back up and how you treat the next at-bat, you know, or next game. So it's what I tell my kids. All you can do on the field is just do your best. What you do in practice, you work on it. But when you're in game, just have fun and compete. That's all we can control. If you compete and have fun, then everything will fall into place.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, good stuff. Chris Allard with J.C. Correa. Stay with us. Prospects get on the defensive side. We'll be right back. And bringing you back into live action as the Prospects get on the defensive side here in the bottom of the first frame. And starting things off will be Meinhardt, the hitter for the club. He'll lead things off. Catcher. Pitching In this inning here, we'll have Victor Rea, left-handed pitcher for the club. Victor joined the organization, plays in and out of the American team, national team, solid player, and we'll get the rest of your lineup here. Badar will be at first. Behind the plate, Victorio. We're ready to go. Ray, first pitch. And a ball swung on, fouled off to the right side. As I mentioned, Victorio behind the plate, Badar over at first. And a second base position, Anthony Adami over on third. Will be Dylan Mercado. Shortstop will be Aaron Ramirez. Over on the left side, you've got Cohen Fuller, Jesse Maddox in center field, and rounding things on the right side. I'll get a name there because you've got Victor Rea on the mound, so I need to check that. And a good pitch.
Great pitch. That's the most important pitch as a pitcher. You want to get ahead in the count. That way you can attack with your stuff. And, you know, get a little bit more away of the zone. Try for the hitter to chase your changeup or your curveball. Right now it's a good time for Victor to throw a changeup here away.
And there's your pitch. You called it. JC called that pitch, and a strikeout there. So Victor Rea opens up with the K on their leadoff batter, Meinhardt. Troxel will step in. Troxel plays left field, and we'll have a lefty-lefty matchup.
Yeah, here a lot of people don't believe in the changeup, but that's the best pitch on baseball because it looks like the fastball out of the hand, and as a hitter perspective, it can get you off timing. So it's a great pitch to always throw on 2 strike count if you have a good one, you know, and you trust it.
Well, Troxel got a piece of that pitch and finds himself on board with a single. And as you mentioned, talking about the changeup, it's such a deadly weapon because guys are so trained today, especially at the higher levels, to hit fastballs and see fastballs. And like you said, you're seeing the exact same motion from the pitcher. But you see guys get way out in front sometimes, especially with guys that are heavy hitter, you know, heavy hands. And another single back up the middle here. So Victor Rea looks like he's throwing a little batting practice there.
Yeah, he's just leaving everything middle. Even the leadoff hitter first pitch was down the middle, and then this next two batters, everything has been down the middle. He will have to start locating up, down, or in the corners, not leave everything middle. I understand that he's trying to get ahead, but you can get ahead by painting the corners, or even throwing a high pitch first pitch is fine to sometimes fall behind. But if you're gonna throw, trying to get ahead, you have to use the corners or high or low.
They'll open up here with the ball. The count is 1-0. Runners at first and second here with 1 out. Pitch on the way. That ball's outside the fastball, and the count goes to 2-0.
Also, you gotta give some credit to the other team hitters. Both hits have been through the middle, so that tells me they're having a good approach at the plate.
Victor takes a look at second. Ramirez ranges up and rolls off, and Victor spins and gets off the rubber. So obviously conscious of that situation without balking. Pitch on the way. Good pitch there. That gets through.
And that's what I was saying. Working high, now working away with a changeup. You know, you gotta change location, the vision from the hitter as well. You gotta play with all those factors to get a positive outcome as a pitcher.
Shallow. And that ball drops in, and play at second is not in time. Trying to get the force there, and Adami just couldn't get it in quick enough.
Great pitch by Victor there, you know. Off the end, just a bloop single. Nothing you can do there.
Well, the bases are loaded here with 1 out. And another single from Hatch. The 5-hitter will step in. Ludwig, the third baseman here, as Victor Rea ready to deal.
Good change.
Swing and a miss there. Good for the strike as he opens up. The count is 0-1. Victor has good movement. It's just he's got himself in a couple situations where you said he's kind of putting the ball right in the middle.
Yeah.
And with a good approach at the plate, these batters have been able to connect a couple of times. Pitch on the way. There it is.
And the older you get, that's you don't want to throw the ball middle, you know. especially at the pro level, talking from that perspective, that's where pitchers know that they should not throw the pitch, you know.
Well, the 0-2 pitch for Victor Rea. And that ball gets away at the plate, and that gets through for Victorio, which is uncommon for him. That's not typical.
I don't know if it was a cross up there.
And a ball gets through, and Bullpen will put the first run up at 1-0. Might have been the way where his glove went. He looked like he wasn't set up in that position and had to reach for it.
Yeah, and as a catcher, if you're, let's say, you call a changeup and you're expecting that ball to go away from you and he throws you a fastball in, the reaction time might be a little later, and that's what I saw from Monster. A little late reaction trying to get to that pitch. Uncomfortable, too, so he tells me he might have got a cross up there.
Yep. And swing and a miss, strike three. So Victor Rea answers back and gets the strikeout, as the 5-hitter Ludwig will have a seat. Dotson, the 6-hitter, will come in. And 2 outs on the books. So minimizing the damage thus far here. Victor Rea and the prospects looking to get out on the offensive side. And Victorio behind the batter there makes a good grab. What will you throw here in this situation? Looking for a ground ball?
We have 2 outs. I will look, for sure I won't throw a fastball here. We have runner on second and third with a single. They might get a 3-0 lead, you know. And here on 2-0, it's a perfect time to throw a changeup away, see if you can get out in front of the end swing. And if not, a swing and a miss, you know. There you go. Good
Chopper foul.
Yep.
2-1.
So it's a pitch that as a hitter you're looking for a fastball. If you give him the fastball middle on that pitch, he'll destroy it, you know. So
would you go to the changeup or maybe something inside or outside?
Right now I will go curveball. I don't want to go back to back on the changeup.
No.
I don't want to show that pitch too much, you know.
Well, a 2-2 count with 2 outs here.
A fastball high should work with him here. If you see the hitter has been dropping the hands a little bit, getting on there after 2 off speed in a row, go with that fastball high. Try to
and
get
being
him
the
on there.
counts 2-2, good time to throw it.
Exactly, and then when you get to 3-2, it's a good time to go back to the changeup because he's expecting the fastball.
So sequencing is important.
Sequencing and the way you play it against the hitter. You know, you want to play with his mind. 2-2 fastball. He will be like, oh, if I'm 3-2, he will come with fastball again.
Came inside there.
Throw the changeup. He went changeup here, so I will take the risk. I have an open base, so I will go changeup again here. I won't get him the fastball.
Well, we'll see what happens here. The 3-2 pitch. Fastball outside, ball 4. So Victor, after starting things off with a strikeout and then a few singles, is able to get the 5-hitter out, and then walking Dotson bomb. The 7-hitter will step in with the bases loaded.
Now you have to attack. You gotta do first pitch fastball. You want to get ahead. See if the hitter gets out with a ground ball pop fly.
And an elevated pitch there to open up, and the count is 1-0. Seems like he's a little bit off with control right now.
Yeah, it's a good time as a catcher to call timeout. Make Victor get his breath in.
And back to back, he's going to go talk to him, just like you said. You called it.
Yeah,
you've been there.
That's what you have to do sometimes. You know, if your pitcher is not finding the zone, maybe he's a little tired. He's feeling the pressure, so you want to just have a nice talk with him, just a little bit. Hey, breathe in, attack.
And Mateo's great with that.
Yeah, and even ask him, hey, what pitch you feel comfortable throwing here? That way he feels good to throw that pitch and get ahead. I had sometimes pitcher tell me, hey, I want to throw a slider on 2-0 with bases loaded. If that's what he's confident with, you trust him and you call that pitch, you know.
And missing there, the count's 3-0. So Victor Rea usually a little bit sharper with his command here. Maybe thinking about the fact the base is loaded. He's got 2 outs. And a strike there. So
all the way back, let's go.
What would you throw here in this situation? It's a 3-1
You have to go
You gotta
fastball.
go over.
You have to go. You have to give it to him. Middle fastball. You know, give you.
And you
a
got a
good
strike
chance.
there.
Yeah, there you go.
Same back-to-back pitch, right? Goes
And
to
here on 3-2, you know, if it was at the pro level, I would feel confident calling an off-speed. But right now, I want him to have the higher chance to throw a strike, so I'll go fastball.
need to locate. Pitch on the way. Ball 4. He'll walk a run in. So Victor Rea having a little bit of difficulty here in the bottom of the first frame, 2-0 bullpen. And they're going to shuffle the deck here a bit, which tells me there might be a short lease perhaps on Victor, who's a very good player.
Great player. And honestly, that's the difference between at this level, college and pro, is that guys can throw any pitch at any count. No matter how many outs or bases, runners on bases, they feel comfortable to throw any pitch on any count, you know. But here you got to be smart. At this age, the pitcher might not like you to change up as a pro guy, so you might have to call fastball, even though if you don't want to, that's the pitch that they might feel more comfortable to throw for strike.
And you got 7 good players behind you.
Exactly.
So
let them play
and
defense.
right here,
there
there's your out right
Yeah.
there. So, you know, instead of, that's a good grab there out of center field. That was a quick one. So I think that was Fuller. I'll have to double check the name on that player on center field. I'm not sure if it was. Yeah, it's Jesse Maddox with a good grab, but still there, right? Let your defense do the work sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to let them play, you know, trust them. Not everything will be strikeouts, so you got to trust your defense behind you that they will make every play.
Yeah. That's great stuff. Well, you know, I'll tell you what, JC, it's always nice to have you on board, and I appreciate you coming in for a couple of innings and, you know, continued success with your professional life, helping major league players, young players. I know you spend a lot of time working with Danielle and everything you're doing to give back to the game, and, you know, it's good stuff.
Yeah, thank you for having me, and honestly, it's an honor for me to be here sharing some of my knowledge with you and the people that are watching the game right now. So thank you for having me, Chris.
Yeah, love it. Very
Appreciate
good.
it.
Chris Allard for JC Correo joining us here this morning as we continue to roll on the 2025 Perfect Game Avalanche Slam here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Stay with us. We'll head to the second. We'll be back soon. Well, bringing you back into live action. We're ready to go here as we head to the second inning. And the top of the frame here, we're ready to go. And Anthony Adame. Adame will step in here, lead things off. Adame hitting in the 7 spot for the Prospects. And a strike to open up there. The count is 0-1. As I mentioned, and I've talked about it a couple of times, with Anthony, solid player. And he's got good speed, good wheels on the bases. And foul tip there. The count is 0-2. Oh, the 0-2 pitch for Adame and elevated there. The count goes to 1-2. In just a few minutes, we'll have a special guest joining us, so stay tuned for that as we continue to roll on here in the 2025 Perfect Game Avalanche Slam. And the 1-2 pitch forthcoming for Adame on the way, and the ball's elevated outside. The count goes to 2-2. And this special guest, I'll just give you a little background on it. Not only is he a very good coach, a successful coach, but he's also been on game shows a couple of times and auditioning for that. We'll talk to him in just a moment, and we'll surprise you. The ball's outside, and the count goes full at 3-2. So Adami looking to get things started for the prospects as they're chasing 2 runs here. And this kind of looks very similar to their last outing, their last game. They ended up winning it. And ball 4, so Adami gets on board with a walk, and it's my pleasure to bring in the man, the myth, the legend, Omar Avila of the Avila brothers. And again, head coach, the 13U national team. You guys are the #1 team in the country. You finish off the 2025 season winning the Nationals. You take down the Banditos. Coach Carlos, your big brother, got to be so proud of you. Omar, talk about your success.
Yeah, no, we had tons of success this past year. We're looking to continue it this year. It was a crazy ride with the boys, as you know. These schedules get tough, these national schedules, and these teams are really good. So we faced a good opponent in Banditos, and we were able to prevail this year. They kicked our butts 12U season, so we had to return the favor this past year. But no, man, we're looking to continue to rebuild, and looking into 14U, and excited about what's to come.
Well, and congratulations, by the way. I mean, it is such an incredible task to be able to achieve that. As Victor Rea and the boxer, the 2-0 counted Adami at first, but we'll get more into the national championship and how you guys got there, because the Banditos and Ray De Leon is an outstanding program. I mean,
absolutely,
one of the top in the nation, and to be able to compete at that level and now take this group, hopefully the majority of your players, you can answer that question, right, will be available at 14.
No, yeah, absolutely. And, thank you, Chris. Yeah, no, it was definitely, again, a grind throughout the whole year. And, beating a team like Banditos and a legend like Coach Ray De Leon was obviously, pretty special. And we have a special group. We have a lot of good key players, and, we're looking forward to continue to rebuild and, continue that momentum. We just finished off the fall. I believe in October we won the WWBA out there in West Palm. So we were able to win that tournament, and I'm excited about this year. Again, last year was very good, and we're excited at what happened, and we had a good group, and we're just gonna look forward to continue to prevail and do better things this year.
For sure. Well, again, you've had such great success as Jack Winan steps in. Jack's had a good tournament so far. Game 1, he was very productive at the plate. As he looks at a ball, the count goes to 1-0 with runners at first and second here in the top of the second frame. Prospects, the away team. So, Omar, with these young players and now going to 14, the game starts to pick up the speed of the game. The bats change, things change. Obviously you're getting a feel for 60-90 at 13, but, it really changes, as you move up to the next level. Talk about that.
Yeah, no, it was definitely an adjustment for, our players, us as coaches. To be honest, coaches, it kind of slows the game down a little bit more with the BB core. And I actually like it, because I think last year was, very nerve-wracking when, these guys had to drop 5s and the game can change.
Bombs away.
So for a coach, it's a little easier, but for the players, it's obviously more of a mental game. They're learning how to adjust. They're going to fail more with the BB core, so a lot of them, are making those adjustments. So, I think it's something that it is definitely a challenge. But the kids, if you get hit, you get hit, right? And the boys, they're all good hitters, good players. It's just about making the adjustments and not getting your head about it, So that's definitely a change. I think for the pitchers, they probably enjoy throwing to these guys now a little bit more, because they could get away with a couple stuff, but ultimately you're playing at a high level against national players, so you're still going to face some of the most elite kids in the nation. So nothing really changes. It's just about pitching and defense, and obviously having some key at bats, and hopefully again we continue to have success.
Well, definitely, and perfect example here is we're seeing illustrated this morning again. Success and failure both come into play, as Jack will have a seat and a strike called there on strike 3. So, Colin Fuller will step in for the prospects, again with runners at first and second. And I think, was that a balk
Yeah,
call?
that was a balk. I think he went to his mouth. So runners moved to third and second.
Yep. So a little bit of movement there. We've had a couple calls this morning with this runner right at the first frame. Ramirez started out on base with a walk and ended up at third after 2 balk calls.
Right.
But they couldn't cash him in, and now an opportunity here for Cohen Fuller.
Yeah, so these are things, just for example, right now it's what, 1 out, second and third. It's a little bit of an adjustment. Like for us, my 13th year, these guys are trying to go big fly, right? And right now, it's having the team at bat, making sure you get a run across the board, and that's the biggest challenge for, let's say, these kids at this age, is having team at bats as opposed
They
to
want to
trying
be hero at
Yeah, they want to
bats,
be
right?
hero, right?
Yeah.
So you got to make sure, it's going up there with an approach. So it's a different ball game, but you just hope that they execute.
And that's the key to it. I mean, I think you have, especially, understanding pitches, being able to identify pitches, being able to make those adjustments, because at a young age, everybody wants to be the hero, right?
Correct.
Bases loaded, bottom of the ninth,
And go bombs away. But
and go yard. And a well-hit ball down the third base side, foul. Fuller's had a good outing so far and got a good cut there. But I think it's exciting for you guys. Now you go to 14U, and you've got high expectations. But I know the work ethic you put into it, and really the development side of it that CT continues to produce across its entire franchise. You guys got to be happy overall with that.
Yeah, no, obviously the program has excelled beyond our expectations, and we've done really well for us. As far as the academies, the teams, the national rankings, all that stuff. Local and nationally, we've been very productive and grateful to have a lot of obviously backing, and secondly, good ball players that show up and believe in what we do. So that's the plus side. So we just got to
made a difference.
Yeah,
it's made a big difference.
Yeah.
And I know, because I was there in the beginning with you guys when we
Yes.
transitioned
Grinding.
from Easton top notch to what it is today. And
Yes.
but
Yes.
many thanks to certainly Badar, and a fastball pumped in there for Jason Marquez, and strike there, the count, big swing, count is 0-1. But it's really, you can see it across the country with the franchises growing, players that are coming in at all levels, and really the fact that the academies are doing so well. Inland Empire, Houston, Orange County, and a miscue on the pitching side.
Nice. Good stuff.
And Adame showing
Takes
some
it.
base running intellect there.
That was very heads up by Adame. Attaboy.
So Marquez now with the runner at second, trying to cash in him, and prospects get one over there. Pitcher seems to be struggling a little bit about just kind of knowing the circumstances and how to
Correct.
move on the mound.
Yeah, no, it seems like, he has a really good arm.
No,
but,
very good arm.
Yeah, but it just seems like, knowing kind of how to come set and slowing the game down, seems like he's kind of green to certain things, but, definitely has a lot of arm talent. Just, been having some trouble with coming set, and made a couple ball calls. I think you just had another one right now.
Yeah, no, I think it's a runner change here. They're going to bring in Cohen Fuller here, and that'll take care of there as Victor will come off. So Jay looking for a knock to extend things. A 1-1 count here, and 2 outs in the top of the second. Prospects get one over on a stolen base from third. And inside, the count goes to 2-1.
But yeah, talking about, me and you go way back, Chris. We've been doing this for a while, man. So I'm glad that you're still doing it. You're still doing a great job.
I love it. Thank you. And it's wonderful to be part of the organization as it continues to grow, and being able to give back and seeing these young players. I mean, gosh, Corwin, my son, pitcher, he pitched for Easton for years, and then CT for a while, and has moved around and played on our high school team and represented, and we've seen him mature and grow, and I'm just blessed to know that he's off to college next year and
That's
finishing
awesome.
his high school year. But to think about these guys, you talk about how long we've been doing this. I look at the days when they were just kids,
Absolutely.
and we were traveling around the country
Yes.
as little kids playing 10U, 9U, 11U, 12U, but we were winning.
Yes.
We had good
No,
players,
man.
man.
It was, again, we come from humbling beginnings. And
Yes, very much so.
I still remember, putting in the grind and, those days with Rick Martinez.
Oh,
and
guy,
you
and
guys
Rick's a great guy.
Showing up to Valencia High School.
Oh,
and,
my gosh.
Yeah, and again, I remember, kind of, being under Rick's wing.
Yeah.
I had the B team, but I got to, obviously be a part of that special group that we had, and, seeing those kids have a lot of success, will go to college, and, obviously.
Well, it's so special, right? Because
Yes.
you've given back so much, and
Correct.
we've seen these kids that have really great potentials. We get back to the top of the order with Aaron Ramirez and runners at first and second. I mean, you can make a movie out of these storylines, which is so cool, and seeing the success that these kids have gained who have gone through the system
Absolutely.
at one point or another, or in some cases, in many cases, are still wearing the ZT uniform.
Yes.
But kids who've really contributed to the growth of the organization and their success as it continues to unfold. And it's because of you guys. I mean, everybody contributed,
Yeah, absolutely. No, but and like we said, we wouldn't have had success without the players and the parents that we,
No,
that we
for
had.
sure. And
You
the
got-
parents ditto on that. I mean,
Yeah.
parents are 100% everything.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
they're, the unsung heroes are mom and dad.
Yeah,
We
no,
can-
and-
and Ramirez again stays hot with the bat. And rounding, coming home, and on his way to third is Marquez, and coming across will be Cohen Fuller. And Aaron Ramirez stays hot at the plate, on board with a single and an RBI. So runners at the corners, and the prospects even things up here at 2-2 with 2 outs here. And Mateo Victorio, another outstanding player in the organization, steps in.
Absolutely. No, that was a great piece of hitting by Aaron Ramirez right there. He's staying hot and stayed short through the ball. Was able to get a line drive through the gap through right center. So good job by him.
And a visit out to the mound here could be a pitching change. Kind of talking about things as we, you're kind of digressing here, talking about when we were young kids. But
Right.
some of those field days and the fields we'd go
Oh,
to.
my
I mean,
goodness.
I remember during some like these places, like Rick would say, "Okay, we're going to be in Buena Park today. We're going to be at this street address," and you'd show up,
Correct.
drive through some neighborhood,
Yes.
you wouldn't know where you were.
No, probably no permits.
And then there you were on a baseball field, and these kids would work so hard. I mean,
Yes.
they had so many good teams, and I think we played a lot of USSSA baseball back then. That was kind of the thing. PG
Absolutely.
and Perfect Game was still around and doing. They were around, but we were playing different tournaments. And
Yeah, no, for sure. And again, like the culture was established back when, obviously we're making the transition with ZT. We were able to take it to new heights, and the backing of, Tazir Badar and ZT. It's been a hell of a ride. Obviously, we got to continue to to work hard and grow the program. But man, I still humbling beginnings from when we first started, and again, seeing these kids come up the ranks, and seeing our first kind of like batch of kids that we had going into college. I'm like, man, dude, I started very young as a coach, so me seeing them just brings me a lot of joy, and we just hope it continues with this next group, which we have talented group.
well,
right? So
yeah,
it's only gonna get better.
You hit the nail right on the head. It's the talent that's in the organization and being able to bring in good players, and I mean, just to see the acceleration and what the organization has done over this period of time, being there from the beginning, and certainly, my hat's off to Sir Badar and
Yes.
TL and Mosin and the entire senior leadership of the organization. I mean, Tasir's done this out of the kindness of his heart, for his
Absolutely.
son. And Danielle has progressed in the game. Now he's in high school, and
Yes.
we're seeing this develop, and it's accelerated at a point where, it's great to see players have an opportunity, and even in underserved areas,
Right.
that the foundation can give back, and they can find ways to help people play this game and give their kids an opportunity.
No,
and that's
for
from
sure.
Tasir's heart and the senior leadership team. There's no doubt about it.
No, again, like the back office, and what they do at corporate and supporting us, like we wouldn't, be here without them as well. And obviously, Tazir and having D, grinding through our program, and he's going along the journey as well. We're hoping that he continues to work hard and develop, and he's in there grinding every day. So. No, man, we have a lot of special kids, and again, it's just one of those things that we got to continue to try to progress and get the kids better and develop, man, because how
We're
it
giving
is.
people opportunities, though,
Yeah,
right? I mean,
yeah,
if you're
yes.
going to key in on something, it's about providing people the opportunities to be able to come in and explore the journey.
Yes.
Get on the bus,
Right.
get into the ride, and I think there was a balk. Was there a balk?
No, to play.
Oh yeah.
Per Perfect. Executed.
And
yes.
perfectly executed right there. So
There.
well done. As
Aaron Ramirez left early. Got in a pickle.
Yep, so Ramirez made the move, the play was executed, and the run comes across. The prospects will move ahead here. And a well-executed play at 3-2. So for Victorio, he's got a man at second in Ramirez. So we're digressing here, but it's just great feeling,
Right.
you know. I mean, it comes from the heart to know that, you know, everything we've done at every level, you know, that everybody's put in what their role is in defining themselves within the organization and what they can do. And the
Yes.
commitment that everybody's made to, it's awesome.
No.
People are locked in, and we're all very fortunate to be part of it.
Yeah, man. Like I said, you know, for us, we love giving back to the kids and developing them and getting on the field and, you know, again, like how you said, just creating opportunities for them. You know, with that hard work ethic and that mindset, it only leads to success. And we just hope for all these kids to be able to take their game to the next level. And if not, I mean, at least, you know, they came out and were good young men. You know, when they get
And
out
you
of
taught
this,
them a
you know.
lot because there's a lot of
Yes.
character building that goes on, self-esteem, personal awareness, team environment. You know, you see a lot of young guys that maybe were quiet. Victoria, well hit ball to the left side, could stay in. Foul. You know, a lot of these young kids, they come into this program, and especially like with the academy on the academic side of things, you get kids that maybe are attending the school, they're
Right.
quiet, but now they're starting to break out, you know.
Correct.
And they're learning how to work together with others and creating good self-esteem and
Absolutely.
character. And really, at the end of the day, I mean, you can't put a price on that kind of stuff for the generations today that
Exactly.
are younger, and giving them an opportunity to play and be part of a team.
Yeah, like I said, and it goes back to the culture and you know what we built here, and you know seeing and giving the opportunities for these kids to be in an academy, right? And you know it goes beyond baseball. Like the kids are so young, you're young, they're going through a lot. You know, this new age of, you know, being on social media and all that, you know, it could be rough for some of these kids, man. So, you know, having them in an academy and making sure that they stay active, and, you know, at the end of the day, kids are going to be kids. They're going to there's going
And they need to be kids, though,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But it's broad. It's put into the right perspective. Right?
Yes.
Put it in context.
Exactly, and you know it's you know our job to try to guide them, man. We're really, you know, we're making an impact in their lives, and we're trying our best to kind of navigate them and help them along the way. Obviously, they're going to make mistakes just like we all do. We've all done, and,
Absolutely.
you know. So we just hope that they continue to take the right path, and you know they continue to with the academies and the game of baseball. You hope that it takes them, you know, far in life.
Yeah, well, it certainly has, and we've seen some really wonderful things come out of the organization, and will continue to thrive.
Absolutely.
And it's just great to see this next level kind of move, you know, to the next tier. You know, you get to a tipping point, and at that next level, it's really going to take you, and you'll continue to fly high. So,
Yes, sir. Yes,
good
sir.
stuff. Well, let's see what Victorio can do here as Coach Omar and myself digressing a little bit for you fans out there, giving you a little historical perspective on ZT baseball.
Good stuff, though. Good stuff.
Good stuff. Absolutely. So Victorio steps back in, looking for something here with 2 outs, and we're in the top of the second. It's a 3-2 affair. And Ramirez at second, shortstop in his back pocket over there is Tate. And Ramirez, with good wheels, can move at any time, and the ball is low. Great weather out here, I will say.
Oh yeah,
by the way.
I was
It's
actually
cold this morning, but
but it's a beautiful day. I actually was expecting worse at first. Yeah, I've been in Vegas, and you know how it could get
windy
yeah, it
and
could
out of
get bad.
control.
It
I don't
could
want to
get
say
out
that
of
word too much.
Yes. No, it's a nice day.
2-2 pitch. And Victorio. Coach Carlos, your brother down on the third base side, bailed out on that.
Didn't want to make a play, man.
He doesn't
I
want to
think
make
he lost a
play.
step, man.
He's a step short on that. He's a little slow. Earlier, remember that ball, kind of a slow roller? He
Yeah.
couldn't even get his hands on it.
Dude, he's losing it, man.
Yeah, he's losing it.
We gotta get on him a little bit out there, dude. What's going on, Carlos? Come on.
You guys have done a lot for the game, and I know you both played and had great careers. And
Right.
it's awesome to be doing what you're doing now. So we're locked in here, and Victoria looking for something here with Ramirez. A line drive will for sure probably bring Ramirez in with good speed. Curveball?
Curveball in the dirt. Good take by Coach by
full count? Yes, we are, says our head umpire. And Victoria right side gets it through. So Nateo stays hot, and with Ramirez's speed, there will be no play at home. And like that, on board with a single and an RBI.
Great at bat by Monster right there. Worked the count, was able to turn on a pitch, hit it in between first and second. Great job by him.
Monster had an
Quality
opportunity to
at bat.
play on the national team,
Yes.
and they won the gold medal, which
Yes.
was really exciting for him and some other players as well. Some of the national team guys that are not here certainly had a great showing, but Monster's such a fine young man, really growing into an outstanding person and athlete, and his contribution in the leadership role that he takes as a catcher.
No, for sure. I mean, Monster's just he's a beast, man. He brings it every day, and he loves the game of baseball. If I were to give one definition of Monster, I would just say baseball player. He just loves the game, and he's going to go in there and contribute. Has freaking beautiful swing, very short to the ball, and he's always been productive since he's been with ZT. I think since so he's a hell of a ball player.
Back pick attempt there at first base, and a ball at the plate for the batter, Dylan Mercado. And Mercado, a fine player, joining up with the American team this weekend. Nice to see him out here.
Yes, Dylan, stud, man.
Very much so.
Yeah, very powerful, great arm. Happy he's here.
3-0 count. We'll take a closer look here when you see the batter pitcher here on our camera angle, with a different camera being shot here to locate and isolate the batter here and pitcher. And Mercado on a 3-0 count. Pitch on the way. And strike called there. And gets the inner half of the plate.
Dylan's been getting some bad luck with some calls, man. Hopefully, he could run into one right now.
He's a strong kid. You look at the size of his body there at the plate. He looks like a college or major league dude.
No, man, he's physical, man. He works hard too, man. I travel out of Houston sometimes, so he's always at our academy or our facility out in Houston, and he's always lifting, working hard. He's a hard worker, man. Great ball player.
Yeah, he's a solid ball player, and it's nice to have him jumping in the uniform this weekend and helping the cause here in Vegas. Stepping in, Cannon Chef, another person joining this weekend to come in with the American team. Good opportunity for you guys to look at players too, right?
No, for sure. That's what makes these tournaments. I know sometimes, like how you mentioned, we're missing some national players, but just to give other kids looks and opportunities and see what they bring to the table, and
it's a transitional period, right?
Yeah,
so you
sure.
got to start looking at you got to look across the board to say you want to keep the national team and at a high level, right? And you should bring guys through the American team system.
Absolutely. That's why I think it's good to see some new faces, some guys. These kids across the nation, they want to be on a team like this, and they just want the opportunity, like we've been talking about.
Right.
So giving them an opportunity means a lot for them, and hopefully they to take full advantage. And who knows, right? You might run into safe. Okay, nice.
Safe at third. Yeah, everybody moved up. A little delay there coming out of the box, but I thought for a moment it was a hit by pitch, like a dead ball.
Yes, it was weird.
It sounded kind of like it at the plate, but that wasn't the case. There is a ball called, though, and go ahead and move everybody up 90 feet. But yeah, I think it's a way to get good looks, opportunity to see other players. And like you said, there's been guys that have come through the American system, on some of these not lower tiers, but just a little bit notch different, right?
Yeah,
which is okay. I mean, that's the way it tiers out, and that's where
right.
it should be, because it gives you an opportunity to say, hey, I can take the journey, and here's the pathway to get to the highest level in the organization.
Yeah, it's like no different from what we got going on. Like I have a local 14U team, and we go out and play almost every weekend or every other weekend, and there's kids on that team hoping to make the national team, and again, it might be for a certain role, or if they're able to have success locally, and a spot opens up, you never know, right? So these kids, it's I think the way our systems ran, and what we got, luckily we're blessed to able to, kind of have a system like this, right?
To give everybody a chance. It gets back to the opportunity
Right.
point, where you're really just trying to develop and develop mature talent and give these kids an opportunity to play. So quick visit out to the mound, and perhaps maybe short work there for Brown. Hard to say as a quick consult will take place, and the batter stepping in is Jesse Maddox. So
Jesse Maddox, one of our 13U national players, he helped us win in Cary and out in Missouri this past year. He's getting another guy to get an opportunity to play up and have his chance to play his actual grade year. He's a true 14U kid, but was an 8th grader, decided not to hold back, and
right.
He's happy for the opportunity.
So he's a freshman. He is a freshman.
He's a freshman, out of San Diego.
Yeah, it's some of these new players, for me to get an opportunity to see them too. It's great to be able to make the call and have their parents maybe see them that aren't here, and
right.
But more so than that, just being able to see some of the new skills come through and what these guys can bring to the table. Base looked open there for a minute, right, with Maddox, like not sure whether he would say where was he going.
That was a close one, man.
We haven't seen it. The bases are loaded, man. I don't know where. I don't think anybody's taken off. Mercado at second. All outside.
See if Jesse runs into one right now. He actually has a really beautiful swing, man. He's polished hitter. Has some pop, man. So we'll see if they give him something good.
Took a look there and a strike called. And I believe the count's 2-1. See from our head umpire as he gives us an indicator. Ball 4, so a walked in run and a walk at the plate, so Maddox gets on with a walk, and run number 5 will come over, and that'll bring up Daniel D. Badar again with the bases loaded.
Indeed, hopefully he comes through right now, man. He's been having some good at bats and quality at bats, seen some good pitches, man. And, he's due right now, so he's Mr. Clutch, man. He comes through and
he's done it
some big
all
moments,
year
man.
long.
Yes.
I mean, I've been in situations calling all of his games, and if I've seen it once, I've seen it twice, 3, 4, 10 times. He likes this position. Looked like he was going to pull the trigger there.
That was a good pitch.
Yeah.
That was a good pitch. Now, D, talking about that, man, just his game out in championship game, semifinal game out in Cary, man. This kid was on fire. Had an excellent summer. Nice.
And there it is. Mr. Clutch drops one in again. And Daniel Badar, he's going to pick up 2. No play at home. And like that, Cotto and Fuller come cross on D's long single to the right side.
No, that was a beautiful swing, man. Jumped off his bat a little bit right there, Chris.
Yeah, he did a little bite to it.
Yeah,
He was hot.
Yeah. Turned on
he's
it
getting
too,
stronger,
man.
right?
Yeah, man, he's in the gym, man.
I love it.
I wonder who his coaches are, man.
I don't know who they are, right? I know J.C. Correa is going to take some credit for that swing. I can promise you that.
As he should, man. Been working hard with him.
No, he's a good man.
Great job.
Yeah, and everybody does. I mean, he's had exposure with a lot of different coaches, and it's digesting a lot of information as Anthony Adami steps in with runners at the corners. And Anthony, I like Adami. He's a smooth customer. He's quick on the bags. He's got good fielding skills.
Good actions, man.
Yeah.
Good actions all the way. Good feel for the game.
Yeah.
Anthony's a really good ball player. I mean, for his size, what he does on the mound, excellent arm, and what he's able to get out of it, his body, it's pretty impressive, man.
Yeah.
So he's another hard worker.
Yeah. And I think
that
that's
came through our academy. Yeah,
right. And you
he's
look
been-
at a kid
yeah.
like him who, structurally he's got a good body, but he's not massive. But he takes all of what he has and applies it more from the technical side, right?
Correct.
So you probably see like good mechanics, good bat swings, good movement with his arm, good on the bases, good baseball IQ.
No, for sure. Again, good actions, man. He just has certain kids just have a feel for the game, man.
Right.
And he's one of those kids that, like, you could plug him in and, you could plug him in the outfield, in the infield, down the pitch, and he just knows what to do, like it comes natural. So he's a really good ball player, and the most impressive thing for me is just his hard work, His work ethic is very, very impressive,
He's a quiet man, quiet young player, but he's very good. You can kind of count on him. He's like one of these kind of guys you could just say, hey, I know I'm going to get good work out of him.
Absolutely. I know that.
And a big cut there, and strike three, that'll do it. Hold on. Well, a good inning for the Prospects. 7-2, they lead this one. We'll head to the top of the third frame. Prospects will get back on the offensive side. Talking with Omar Avila, head coach of the 13U national team and national champions. You've won in Cary. You won the national title this year. You beat an outstanding organization in the Bandinos and Ray DeLeon, a fine man, and what he's done for the game as well. And everything you guys do between you and your brother and what's happening in the academy, I can't thank you guys enough, and it's great working with you. And we have a lot of fun when you come in and join us, so it's been an absolute pleasure. And I know you guys are going to continue to garner success as we go into 2026, and I can only see brighter and better things on the future.
No, I appreciate it, Chris. Again, obviously kudos to you, man. You've been with us from the beginning, and stuck by our side and always trusted on what we got going on, and we appreciate you here and helping out and doing what you do, man, being the broadcast and all that. We appreciate it, man.
Well,
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys, and again, a lot of love goes around, and thankful to, again, the Bedard family and everything they've done for all of us, because it makes a big difference, and ZT Baseball will continue to thrive. Chris Allard for Omar Avila. We're wrapping it up here. We're heading to the third inning. Prospects leading 7-2. Thanks a lot, Coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Well, bringing you back into live action, we're ready to go here. Victor Reyes stays on the bump for the Prospects as they lead this one here and getting things started off for Bullpen after a productive inning for the Prospects, and strike there at the plate. And the count is 0-1. And a ball upstairs evens up at the count at 1-1. And a good pitch on the inner third of the plate, low. Cedeno, the 9-hitter, comes in as the extra hitter. They go 9, 10, 11 here in the bottom of the frame. And a ball cut foul straight back, and the count's at a ball and 2 strikes. Correction, 2-2 on the lower pitch. Previously. Victor comes inside there, and the count goes to 3-2. I've been tracking with our head umpire. I believe we're at 3-2. And my apologies if we are not. And foul tip there. And well hit ball, left side, left fielder making a move and pulling it in over on the left side. Well done there, Cone Fuller. Correction, Jack Winans takes care of business there. Jack out in left field, getting it done. And one out on the books. And the ball's out of play. And to the 8-10 hitter, I'm sorry, Maxwell, right fielder for the club. And a swing there, at strike at the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. And a good pitch there, strikeout for Victor Rea. So Victor doing his thing. And that'll bring up Taylor, the 11 hitter, comes in as the EH, as Maxwell will have a seat on a strikeout and 2 outs on the books here. And a good pitch on the inside, just missing. Victor having good location on the inner third of the plate. Not afraid to come inside and certainly show his stuff. And a strike there right up the middle, and the count goes even to 1-1. And a ball swung on. Taylor takes a swing there, fouls it off to the right side towards his dugout. And Victor trying to close it out. And elevated there, goes upstairs, just missing. And the count is 2-2. Slow roller, third base, good gather. And a solid arm there, and the out played there, so well executed. Mercado showing his stuff over on the hot corner, goes across in a 5-3 put out to Bedar, well done. So Victor Rea and the prospects will get back on the offensive side. Stay with us, they lead this one 7-2. We'll be right back. Well, bringing it back into live action, Victor Rea taking care of business on the mound, steps into the box, we're ready to go. Righty-lefty matchup here as we at the top of the frame and looks at a ball that counts 1-0. Well, here in the top of the third, Victor Rea looks at another ball. And the prospects had a good production their last at bat in the top of the second. Pitch on the way. Hard hit ball. Second baseman lays it out. A good effort on the second base side, but a hard hit ball for Victor. And Victor finds himself on board with a single to start things off here in the top of the third frame. Stepping in, Jack Winus ready to go. Jack's an opportunity here to step into the American team and show his stuff. He's performed well thus far. And good speed, and like that. And well done on the bases.
Go one.
So Adami with good speed. And the ball's up. Runner at second for the prospects as Jack looks at a ball. And curveball just missing there. A 3-0 count here as Jack will step back in. Runner at second for the prospects here and top of the third frame. We had a long second in the prospects' last at bat. Bomb ready to go, swing and a miss there. Good cut at the plate. Steps back in, runner goes, and like that, ball 4. And down 90 feet to first base is Jack with Adami moving over to third. Excuse me, Cone Fuller will step in. And Adami in scoring position here for Fuller. Fuller, who's played on the national team as well and having a good run here this weekend so far. And an opportunity here with no outs in the top of the third. Ball up, the count's 1-0. And hard hit ball, third base, in and out, throw across, but the run will come over. And well done over on the third base side for Bullpen. So Hatch gets a bullet as Fuller pulls the trigger, but Adame will score. So one out. Jack will move over to second, and the Prospects will get their 8th run. Jasted Marquez, excuse me, stepping in. It's over at second. And caught there in a pickle. They're going to chase him down there. A little bit of trouble. And he goes out of the base running path, so that's an automatic out. So they'll pick up their second. And the runner's out there with 2 down. So Jack gets caught up in a pickle and 2 down. One over at the plate. Yeah, the ball's fouled straight back, out of play. And Jay looking for a knock here with the bases empty and 2 outs in the top of the third, 8-2 Prospects. It's a 1-1 count. Bob ready to deal here. Pitch on the way. Slider outside. The count goes to 2-1. And the ball's hit to the right side. Foul. Jaston looking to go opposite and just puts it slightly foul. You can see some shadowing starting to come up on the field as that ball is missing there at 3-2, full count. It's just from some of the natural landscape around us shading the field, and you can see on the screen some shadows to the right and left side of home plate. Jay steps back in, full count. 2 outs, top of the third. Pitch on the way. Ball 4, so Marquez, patient at the plate, finds himself 90 feet down to first on board. And that'll get back to the top of the order for Aaron Ramirez. Ramirez having a productive day here today. And Jay over at first. And Ramirez left side cuts it foul and out of play. Count is 0-1. And Ramirez, right side, pulls it foul. And the count is 0-2 to Aaron. Jay will come back to first. Runner on the move. Ball is low, no throw. Marquez will move up 90 feet. Stolen base to second. A ball at the plate for Ramirez. And the count is 1-2. Ramirez cuts it foul, straight back and out of play. And that was close. Got some folks up on the upper deck. Almost took one there. Young lady smiling there, just jumped over her head. And the 1-2 count will hold here for Ramirez. Marquez at second. Ramirez trying to cash him in here. The 1-2 pitch. Ball's elevated. The count goes to 2-2. Bob looking for an out. Ramirez looking for a hit. And a dead ball at the plate called. Ramirez will get on board with a walk. And hit by pitch there at the plate. Victoria will step in. Runners at first and second here for Mateo Victorio. Monster stepping in. Got good speed on the bases. And a strike there as Mateo takes a look. The count is 0-1. Baum will work ahead here. No throw over to second. Shortstop Tatum in the back pocket of Jay. And Baum decides to spin off the rubber, no throw. Off speed pitch low. The count goes to 1-1. Perfect conditions here today. It was cold this morning for the 8 o'clock game. Things are warming up now as we're at high noon here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the 2025 Perfect Game Avalanche Grand Slam Tournament. And a ball out. Victorio not going after it there, and the count goes to 2-1. And Victorio cut foul straight back. And real close to one of the construction cars, the truck behind us. And the count goes to 2-2 on Victorio. The 2-2 pitch with 2 outs. Top of the third. 8-2 prospects. On deck, Mercado. High fly ball. Shortstop ranging up, making an adjustment, gets underneath it, and will pull it in. So Tatum will take care of that one. They get the third out, but the Prospects, they're able to get one over. It's 8-2. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Prospects are leading this one over Next Level Baseball in the 2025 Perfect Game Las Vegas Avalanche Grand Slam. Chris Aller with the call. It's been a pleasure talking to both J.C. Correa as well as Omar Avila, head coach of the now 14U national team, but was national champions in the 2025 season. And a great contributor and coach, helping make a difference in a lot of young lives here through the ZT baseball program across the country. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We'll bring you back into live action. We're ready to go here in the bottom of the third. 8-2 prospects, I'd mentioned. And to the top of the order for Bullpen Club, Meinhardt will step in, the catcher, to start things off here in the bottom of the third. And we're ready to go here. Victor Reyes stays on the bump for the prospects. We're ready to roll. Ball out, the count is 1-0.
Go, hipping around.
2-0 count. And a 3-0 count. So Victor behind here on the leadoff batter, top of the order for Bullpen, and a 3-0 count. Ball four, a 4-pitch walk to the leadoff batter. And that'll bring in the 2-hitter Troxel, the left fielder. And something going on with Victorio there. And he's got a little bit of a nosebleed there. And they'll take care of that off the sidelines with Coach Eric Ortiz and Coach Trey. Coach Eric does the pitch calling for the organization. A fine job, excellent coach. And a lefty-lefty matchup is Bedard over on first base holding the runner off, and Victor tosses one over, and Meinhardt will get back. Troxel at the plate. Another throw over to Bedard, no play there. As Victor Reyes just keeping him honest.
Hipping around, big. Let's go, baby.
Ball low there to Troxel. And the count is 1-0. Meinhardt at first. Bedard holds him on. Pitch on the way. Good pitch there. Fastball. He pumped that one in. And Victor gets a strike on the board. And the count goes to 1-1. Another toss over to first. And Bedard playing catch there, keeping Meinhardt parked there at first. Victor being a lefty, he's got a direct line of sight. And they'll elevate that pitch. The count goes to 2-1. And a good effort at second as Adame laid it out to his left and on board with a single. Stepping in, Tatton, the shortstop, hitting in the 3 spot here with no outs, bottom of the third. Runners at first and second. Ramirez shuffles off on the shortstop side, and the ball's cut foul to the right side and out of play. And the count is 0-1. And Victor comes inside and low, and the count evens up at 1-1. Deep center field, a long way to go. And that ball's to the fence line, backing it up on the right side. They'll come in. Center fielder gets it. Here comes one. And in with the double. So Tatton gets a piece of it, and they'll bring one over. So they pick up their third here with no outs in the bottom of the third frame. Hatch, the 4-hitter, will step in. Hatch plays third base for the club. And the count is 1-0.
Again, big. Let's go.
And a good pitch there, just missing outside. And the count goes to 2-0. The Prospects looking for an out here. And Victor comes inside, and the count will go to 3-0. And a 4-pitch walk there, so Victor in a little bit of trouble here with no outs. Prospects leading this. He's 5-run lead here. It's 8-3, and Coach Ortiz makes a visit out to the bump and have a quick conversation with Victor. And I think that's going to do it. Victor, a fine player, an excellent pitcher. Fell off just a little bit here in the third, but a solid player nonetheless, and a very good pitcher as well. So pitching change coming up for the Prospects. Stay with us. We'll be right back. So Aaron Ramirez takes over on the hill for Victor Rea. Ramirez, a right-handed hurler for the club, gets a couple warm-up tosses in with Coach Eric Ortiz checking his guy out, and Victorio getting a couple of tosses with him, and we'll be ready to roll here. So Ramirez takes over, and a quick conversation with Mateo Victorio, his catcher, as we're in the bottom of the third. 8-3 Prospects. Bases are loaded, and Ludwig, the 5-hitter, will step in with no outs. So Ludwig steps in as Ramirez takes over on the bump for the Prospects. We're ready to go. We put it in play. Ron and Mark are umpires. And Ramirez opens up with a strike. And the count is 0-1. And swing and a miss there. Ramirez looking sharp there, ahead in the count at 0-2 on the 5-hitter, Ludwig. Pitchers duel here. Ludwig, a pitcher for the club, starting on the hill for them. Pitch on the way. Ramirez gets him to take a cut, fouls it off to the right side and out of play. Holding here at an 0-2 count. Looks for two. They get one there. Across the deck, Adami in safe as Badar came off the bag. Ball was a little bit, just a little bit off the base, a little bit for Badar, and good speed down the line, but they get one. They pick up their fourth. They get the out at second. Runners at the corners with one down. Bunt shown here. Strike. Ramirez opens up. Count is 0-1. And Ramirez, good pitch on the inner third, looked like a strike. And they'll get a play there at tag out, but play at home, not in time. They get the out at second, but the runner takes off and will score. And the runner's out at second with 2 outs. And the bases are cleared, and they pick up their 5th run here. (5-8), and the count is 1-1. And a strike there. Ramirez locating, and a 1-2 count. Ramirez trying to get his guys back on the offensive side. And swing and a miss. Drop 3, tagged him. That'll do it there. So Ramirez comes in, cleans things up for the prospects, and they'll get on the offensive side. But bullpen, they're chasing 3 to get even. Prospects will get on the offensive side. We'll be right back. Well, we're ready to go here. We'll bring it back in. Pitching change on the mound there. We'll get things going here as new pitcher of record will look at a ball here on Dylan Mercado. Looks at a ball. The count's 1-0. Pitch on the way. And a big cut at the plate there. And the count evens up at 1-1. Dotson, ball's elevated. The count goes to 2-1. Dotson taking over on the bump. And slow roller, first base side. And out there, stepped on the bag quickly, was Brown over at first base as Mercado good wheels down the line, but the ball was hit right to the first baseman. So 1 out. Cannon Chef will step in. As we're in the top of the 4th here. Prospects leading this one 8-5. Chef looking to get something started for his guys. Jesse Maddox on deck. And a strike outside. And the count is 0-1. And a ball cut foul, straight back and out of play. And strike 3 called at the plate. And Jesse Maddox will step in. And the count is 1-0 with 2 outs. And a strike there. The count goes to 2-1. And a hard hit ball. That ball's deep and to the wall it will go. That's at least 3. He's got to go quick. They might run him around the corner. And Coach Carlos is going to send him. And a little is offline there. And in the park, home run. So Jesse Maddox takes a big swing and finds himself crossing the plates. So he gets a solo shot. And in the park, a deep ball all the way to the fence line. And they pick up their 9th here. Stepping in, Daniel Bedar. Bases are cleared. Solo run for Jesse Maddox. And Bedar looks at ball 1. Count is 1-0. And D laying off. The count's 2-0. Low on the plate there was the pitch. as Dotson, as I mentioned, the pitcher of record for bullpen. Prospects 9-5, top of the fourth, 2 outs. Visit out to the mound. Stay with us. Down the line, looks like there could be a pitching change coming up. So Bedard with a well-hit ball deep into center field with a good stroke there. He was on board with a single and an RBI his last at bat. And ends up on the overthrow at second base. And a pitching change coming up. Stay with us. We'll be right back. So Troxel will come in, the right-hander, get some warm-up tosses as he takes over on the hill for bullpen. He'll get some warm-ups, we'll be ready to go, and Anthony Adame will step in with Bedard at second. Stay with us. Prospects leading this one 9-5, top of 4. You're enjoying the 2025 Perfect Game Avalanche Grand Slam Tournament here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Chris Aller with the call. So Anthony Adame steps in, ready to go. Bedard second, and swing and a miss at the plate there on a low pitch. And the count is 0-1. a ball out, Anthony laying off, and the count will even up at 1-1. I mentioned Troxel taking over for Dotson. As you got a different angle here, pitcher versus batter. Here on this angle, and another cut there, gets through on the off speed, and the count goes to 1-2. And back up the middle, and Anthony Adame stays hot. And Bedard ends up at third. And Anthony finds himself on board with another single, and runners at the corners. Stepping in, Victor Rea. And Victor looks at ball one. The count is 1-0. Good stop behind the plate. Meinhardt doing his catching work there, and the count goes to 2-0. Runner on the move. Ball swung on, fouled off to the left side. And the count will go to 2-1. And a ball hit hard. That ball's deep. That's going to get through. Well hit. Line shot, rounding Adame with good speed, rounding hard, and no play at home. So Adame comes all the way from first, and like that, Victor Rea in with a double and gets a two-shot RBI. Runs 10 and 11 come over for the Prospects on Victor Rea's double. So the Prospects getting a lot of production out of their offensive side for their guys, and with a two-out situation, it's been that way throughout the course of both of their games. The first game was very similar with two outs. They rallied and hit by pitch there. Jack wears that one. Winans will head down to first and hit by pitch. Cohen Fuller will step in. Jack over on the first base side. It's down the hard way. Got to rub a little dirt on that one. And Rea over at second. Troxel from the stretch. Pitch on the way. Hard hit ball left side. And right in the glove of the left fielder. Well hit ball though. And a good grab out in left field. And that'll do it. The Prospects will leave a couple on, but they move ahead. It's 11-5. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. Stay with us. We'll be right back. So we're ready to go here in the bottom of the fourth. 11-5 Prospects leading this one. Aaron Ramirez stays on the bump for the Prospects. And stepping in to start things off, number 94, the 7-hitter Bomb. They'll go 7, 8, 9 here in the bottom of the fourth. As Ramirez did a nice job his first outing on the hill here for this tournament. And Aaron ready to go. And pitch on the way. Ramirez, right side, goes foul. And Ramirez will open up there at the count at 0-1. Bomb steps back in. And Ramirez, good pitch there. And the count goes to 0-2. Ramirez working ahead. And Ramirez, strike three. Good work for Aaron, as he'll sit their leadoff batter. And Ramirez gets the K there. Baum will have a seat. The 8-hitter will step in Brown. Third base side. That gets through in the 5-6 hole, and rolling off was Dylan Mercado in the shortstop position. A well-hit ball for Brown. He gets on board with a single. And that'll bring up the 9-hitter, Sedeno. Comes in as the EH. And Ramirez opens up with a strike. Good pitch as he runs it on the interior part of the face of the plate there. Comes inside. Ramirez with very good command. Bedar holding the runner on at first. And back. Could get two here. Good play defensively, and all the way across the deck is in time. Double play. 6-4-3. We'll close that one out, and we'll head to the fifth. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, we'll wrap it up here as this thing comes to a close. Prospects, they'll take it, get two out of it. They go two straight here, 2-0 so far for their campaign here this weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada, the 2025 Perfect Game event. The Avalanche Slam here. It's been a great tournament so far. I'd like to thank everybody behind the scenes, Perfect Game, putting together another outstanding tournament. Official score, keeping things in check. Game in and game out. And our umpires, of course, Ron and Mark. Chris Allard with the call for Carlos Avila, his entire coaching staff. It's been a great start so far here in this particular tournament in Las Vegas. Winter ball, getting out and getting things done, and hope you've had a great Thanksgiving break and Christmas just around the corner. For now, Chris Allard saying so long from Las Vegas, Nevada. The Prospects go 2-0 this Saturday. Championship Day tomorrow, Sunday, once things get wrapped up with all the other games and seedings. We'll be bringing it to you live one more time. But for now, this one's officially in the books. The Prospects win at 11-5. We close it out here at the Arroyo Grande Sports Park. For now, we'll say so long. Have a great Saturday. We'll see you soon.